Hi, this is 365801, and this is a book and manga haul for the month of August 2025. So, we do have two fairly substantial stacks. A lot of this is actually prose, so I definitely will have to make sure my thumbnail has book and manga haul because there is quite a lot of danme and some other things in here. So yeah, I did manage to pick up a lot of prose, and I'm counting it and realizing that I think I have a couple of things in here that I haven't got written down yet. Um, yeah, I'm thinking this is more than what I thought it was. This looks like it's more than 28. I think it must be 31 or 32, something like that. So I will have to get my little pad of paper out and read through what I've got and try and make sure I've got everything. Yeah, I must have bought things or brought things. Anyway, it's a big stack for August, and I didn't really buy too much across the month. I mostly just bought things like at the very beginning of the month and in the middle of the month, and like basically 3 days worth of purchasing has created this, and like the rest of the month I didn't even bother looking. So yeah, it's quite a lot. Shall we get through it? And as usual, we'll start with the pros. Maybe, yeah, let's start with the pros because those are ones that I now will have to track and add to my physical TBR. If you haven't already, I did post a video on my physical pros TBR, so go check that out. It was like 130 something, so I have read something since then, but I'm definitely going to be adding some more, so my number's going to go up significantly, and I do think I need to start prioritizing reading some more prose. Maybe just a little every day would probably help. But yeah, especially the stuff that I own instead of just reading audiobooks that are easy. But it is what it is. Anyway, I've added a lot to the TBR, so let's go through all my pros first. So we're going to start with The Gentleman and His Vowsmith. This was a hardback. I didn't realize it was. This is by Rebecca Eade, I think. As you can see, it has a wee £3 off sticker, but it was second hand. So a little bit of damage on it. And it is like a male historical fantasy romance. I like the fact that it's got the, is it Mangatube blurb at the front, because her book, I'm trying to remember what it's called now. I've forgotten. Something in small magic, sorcery and small magics, I think. Sounds like something I would enjoy, and this also sounds like it would be something interesting. I did pick this up. I think it was from World of Books. Yeah. Did I have it written down? Oh yes. It was £6.30, but I got it in a deal for four for three. So the average price is £4.10, which I think is a really good buy for a hardback book. So yeah, this sounds like something I would like, almost in the sort of uh the I want to say like a Marvelous Light kind of thing, sword crossed. Yeah, something like that. So I'm hoping this will be a good one, and maybe I can use it towards the Our Fantasy Bingo board if I get it done before the end of March. So we'll see. It's on my TBR now, so I'm gonna hopefully enjoy it. And it's a lovely big hardback book. I also picked up something that I've been meaning to read for a while. One, because it's by Aidan Thomas and I've heard good things about Aidan Thomas's writing. I still have not read Cemetery Boys, even though I have a copy. But now I have the Sunbearer Trials. This is the first in a series, and I think the second one's already out. But I also got this a long time ago as a NetGalley arc, so I really should read this. And give a review. I just never got round to it. So I did get access to a digital copy, and I don't know if I still have access to it. But yeah, I feel bad that I got access and never got round to reading it. Sometimes that's just what happens, but I feel like I need to do a bit of NetGalley checking in. That needs to happen as well. So yeah, this one I was also getting in that same group of 4 for 3s. So this was actually £4.10, but it was the cheapest one, so it was the one that was free. But because I like to average off the costs so that it means everything within that order becomes cheaper, it's still £4.10, which I still think is a good buy for something that I was interested in to begin with. It's supposed to be like a sort of like Percy Jackson type thing, with Transrep, which I would be very interested in reading a bit more on. So yeah, this is one that I was intrigued enough to request a copy and then just never got around to reading, which I feel very bad about. I have quite a few reviews I still need to write up for NetGalley, so there's definitely going to have to be a video on its own, I think. And then on to Lex Croucher, Gwen and Art Are Not in Love. This is one that I actually did request from NetGalley, but I wasn't given a copy, so I kind of feel good about that now because I probably wouldn't have gotten around to reading it. So yeah, this one I also picked up, I think, for a good buy. Where was it? £3.70. So that's pretty good for this copy. It's not perfect. It does have a little bit of staining and things, so I definitely think it's like very secondhand. But I'm interested because Lex Croucher, I have some other works. I think the ones that are like Regency, and I kind of want to know if their work is something that I would be interested in reading more of, or if it's just not. And it would be good to give this a go. And then I could maybe get rid of one of them or both of them if it's not for me. So yeah, this was just one that I had seen. There was a lot of hype when it was first being released, and then it didn't. I don't know if it got the best reviews or it just died down. There is a second one, so I think it is a series. So yeah, I'm not sure. So I'd love to hear your opinions. If you have read it, what did you think of it? I think it's supposed to be very queer, which is obviously something that I'm going to be enjoying reading rather than as just a normal Arthurian story. But we shall see. But yeah, for £3, it's not too bad, I think. On to some light novels. The first of the light novels I've got are The Case Files of Julia Richard, Volume 7 and Volume 8. This is by Nanako Tsujimura and Utako Yukihiro. I'm just collecting them as and when I find them for good prices, and these were good prices. Generally, they're kind of a bit pricey anyway, but it does mean I have quite a substantial gap. I have the first 4 volumes. I thought I had volume 5 or 6, but obviously not. And now I have 7 and 8. So yes, I have a gap, but it does mean I can't read these. I think we're up to, is it volume 10 with the light novels? Anyway, these two are so obviously husbands by now, in my mind. But I don't know if that actually ever happens. I don't know, but I need to read them. So yes. So yeah, for these two, I did pick them up for good prices. Volume 7 was £6.19 and Volume 8 was £7.14. And I think that's pretty good for the light novels because they are generally a little on the pricey side because they are translated prose. So happy to have these added to the collection, and also kind of happy that it means I can't read them because I don't have to feel bad about not getting into them straight away. There's a gap, so they're just going to have to sit and wait until that gap is filled, and I'm okay with that. So, but yeah, these two were lovely, and it does remind me that I need to read more of the manga because I do have some volumes that I haven't read yet. On to another light novel. This is Associate Professor Akira Takatsuki's Conjecture, Folklore Studies. This is volume 1 by Mikage Sawamura. And technically, I've already read this because I got an advance copy from Edelweiss, I think it was. Yes. And I did read it and I did enjoy it. It was good. I just haven't read this particular volume physically. But I have read it digitally, so I feel like this is just including it because I need to add it to the collection. I do enjoy these kinds of stories. They've got everything I want, and I do have the first 2 volumes of the manga version, and those will be the same stories but just in manga form. So I do need to get the next light novel and the next lot of manga to be able to continue. It's a really interesting story about someone who is very interested in folklore, who's trying to find it. And of course, is it actually something that's folklore related, or is it human intervention in some way? And so this is one of those ones where two people end up working together, just like Julia Richard, and they have like a monster of the week type story, but is it actually a monster or is it humans? So yeah, I like Tri-Cornered Window, anything like that where two people have to work together, two guys, and they end up having to investigate in some way or find out some sort of mystery. I absolutely love. So yeah, this is a really good one. I really enjoyed reading this the first time round. Oh, I totally forgot to say how much I got it for. It was in a World of Books 4 for 3. Not the first one that I was talking about, but another one that I've got, so you've got more things to come. And it was supposed to be £6.60, which is a really good price, but because there was one that was free, I averaged off the cost and it's £5.15. On to some Danme, and I have the special edition version of, is it Dinghai Fusheng Records? I still don't know how to. I'm pretty sure this is the one that I've read as a like a manga type version. But this is book one, and I managed to get this. I ended up getting it from Amazon. I think I got it for, was it £12.99? Yes, £12.99, which is not bad for the special editions. If all of the special editions were sold at £12.99, I certainly would prefer to get them. But when they're £26, £27, I'm like, nah, I'm good. I don't need the stickers. So yeah, I'm more inclined to get something if it's less than £10. And that was the goal. The goal for 2025 was to get more things under £10 and less things over £10. So yes, this does count in the over £10 mark, which hopefully I'll have less this year. But it is a special edition with a little bit of extras, and I thought that was a good price, pretty much 50% off compared to what it should have been in terms of like the recommended retail. So yeah, I kind of know the story, but I felt a little confused reading the manga. So I feel like reading this, I'll get more of an understanding. And I think there's something else that's also connected to this story being released as well. So yeah, just more Danme to add to my list. Now, I also picked up Stars of Chaos Volume 1. This is Chapeau Lang, and this is by Priest. Now, this is one that I have already read as a fan translation back before all of these announcements and licenses were made. And I loved it. I loved it. I was like, Priest, meh, I don't know. Guardian was okay. The drama, I mean. And then I was like, I'll give something else a go, and I decided to just pick a random one that someone had mentioned on Twitter or something, and I was like, okay, Chapeau Lang, let's do this. And I loved it. I loved it so much. So yes, I'm happy to be able to collect these. I think I paid £8.53 for this. So yeah, this is a good price for volume 1. It does mean I can read it. I'll be able to go in knowing a lot and understanding a lot. But yeah, look at the stunning visuals. This is really beautiful. Oh, they're just so gorgeous. I do love this story. It's really good. Now, from the same seller, I picked up The Disabled Tyrant's Beloved Pet Fish. This is volume 1, so it does mean I can start reading this one. This is, I think, just a 4-volume series, so a nice small mini series to collect. Everyone who's read this seems to enjoy it. I think it's kind of cute and fun. So yeah, apparently someone becomes a fish, and yeah, I don't know exactly how this goes, but I did pick this up for £9.06, which is not too bad. And it helped me to understand that not all 7 Seas have French flaps, which was good because I was a little confused. But this one is one I can start reading, which is good. It is a volume 1, and I'd be able to get stuck into the story straight away. So yeah, for an okay price. Like I said, if it's under £10, I'm happy about it. Now, this is one that got me a little bit confused because I wasn't sure why it didn't have French flaps, because I just assumed that all 7 Seas had French flaps, but obviously not. There was a certain point in time where they stopped making them, when I'm like, alright then, fine. And this is Ballad of Sword and Wine. This is unfortunately volume 3, which means I can't read it. I still need to pick up the other volumes. And I don't know what the story is about either. So yeah, this is one that I'm just buying because it's Danme and because I got it for a fairly good price. I want to say £4.11. Yeah, that was a good price. So it's in pretty good condition, a little bit beat up around the edges. But yeah, for £4.11, that's a blooming good price, right? For volume 3, which I can't read, I've got a few volume 3s in my collection that I obviously can't read because I don't have the other volumes. So yeah, volume 1s are better just because it means I can read the stories. Volume 3 means you're just going to sit on the shelf. But for £4.11, that's fine. It can sit on the shelf. Now we're going to move on to manhwa, webcomics, that kind of thing. And this is Tied to You, Volume 2, art by Watt and original story by Chelias. Now I know all about Volume 1 because I was very lucky enough to get an advanced reader copy from NetGalley just for this first one. And so, yeah, I'd be quite intrigued to find out what happens. As far as I remember, it's sort of like a red string of fate type thing. People are fated. There's brothers. Someone's in love with one of the brothers, but it turns like the other brother is the one that he's supposed to be fated for. So messy AF. Love that. Now this is the first one that I've bought or I've gotten from. Is it Ice Press or Easy Press? Can someone please tell me how do you pronounce it? Because it's IZE, so it doesn't sound like ice, but maybe that's how it's pronounced. Because I've heard people pronouncing it different ways, is or ease or ice. So I don't know how do you pronounce the publisher. But yeah, this is one that I'd be intrigued to read on from. I know I could just get it as a webcomic version, but it's quite nice to get these ones that are being published that I haven't read in webcomic form. Because the next ones I've got to show I have actually already read. But yeah, volume 2. And how much did I spend on it? Wasn't that much. I'm trying to find it. My list is so long. £7.62. That's pretty good actually. So yeah, happy with this. It's a good price, I think, for an all-colour volume. Now the next one is Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation, the comic version. This is volume 4, and it was very good that I was able to find this one because, for a good price, because it was the gap that I have now filled. So I read volume 1 last year at my 801 readathon, and I read volume 2 this year for my 801 readathon, and I still have volume 3, but then I had 5, 6, and 7. So now with this volume 4, I have 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I can binge quite a lot of the story. With this, I have discovered it doesn't matter when I pick up a volume, which volume it is, because I know the story so well. I can just read it and understand exactly what's going on because I'm like, oh, we're in this part of the story. I've watched The Untamed so many times, it doesn't matter. Or the animated version as well. So yes, it doesn't really matter that there's a gap. I could have just read on, but I like having this now. I managed to pick up for £6.55, which I think is pretty good for these all colour versions from Seven Seas. And I love the artwork. It's really well done. I think it's a really nice series, and I think they do really well with the dark covers, the dark spines with the gold accents. Just it feels very rich, which is good. And for £6.55, it's pretty good value. I did pick up a few things from Amazon during the month of August, mainly because they were very cheap. This is Perfect Buddy Volume 2, art by Daki and story by Lash. And this is also another one that I have not read in webcomic form, so this is all new to me. And it will still continue to be new to me because obviously it's a volume 2. I'm not going to read it. I'll have to wait until I can get a volume 1. The art style in the front is interesting. I have no idea what this story is about. I have no idea. Nothing. Can't tell you what it's about at all. But because it was only $7.99, I put it in my cart. And if you watched I don't know if it's actually gone up yet or not. My vlog. Turns out I bought 2 of these. So 2 were in my cart. I ended up having to send one back. Obviously, I don't need another one. So yeah, this was a bit silly of me. it made me laugh anyway. It was a good for a laugh. But yeah, this is just going to be added into the collection and wait until I have a volume 1, and then I'll be able to read them both together. But yeah, I don't actually know. Is this a good one to collect? Doesn't really matter, but yeah, I would like to know if it's worth checking out. I could maybe find where it is digitally and read a bit of the webcomic, and then I can read this. So then maybe that's an option for me. But yeah, for $7.99, certainly not bad price at all. And here we are with some webcomics adaptations into print that I have read multiple times. So also it wouldn't matter where I picked this up and read it from, but it would probably make me want to just go and get the digital copy and continue reading it to the end, because that's what happens. I think, have I already done my annual read of Love's an Illusion? I mean, I do at least once a year. At least once a year, I will read Love's an Illusion. It's my fave. I'm such a fan. But yeah, it's been a while. I've been keeping it off. Maybe just when I'm really feeling down, I'll pick it up, because it is a very long one in webcomic form, and I have it all, so it doesn't really matter. But I do obviously want to pick up these print physical volumes as and when. And I got these for good prices. They were £9. Let me just see. £9.99 for volume 5 and £9.89 for volume 3. So really good prices and under £10, which is the goal. It's the aim. So yeah, happy to add these to the collection. It does mean I have volume 1, 3 and 5. That's it. And obviously the Queen has come out as well. And obviously we're getting the new digital one with Buell as a little bit older. He's a teenage boy now, so I'm enjoying that whenever we get a copy, a new episode. It's always fun. So yeah, I'm glad that we're getting more of Fargo's work, just because it makes me feel good, and that's all that really matters. Now on to a graphic novel, and this is volume 6 of Fence. This is called Redemption. This is obviously C.S. Pacat, Joanna the Mad, and Joanna Lafuente's graphic novel series, and I have already read this. I read it earlier, a couple months ago actually, just not too far away. It was because I needed to read volume 5, and volume 6 was actually available on Kindle Unlimited for whatever reason, so I was like, oh, I can just read volume 5 and then do volume 6. So turns out this was quite cheap second hand, so I picked it up. And I know that volume 7 maybe has already come out in the US, but I don't think it's come out here in the UK. I think there's quite a difference between the publication dates for the two places. So but yeah, I did get this. It was supposed to be £6.30, but it was part of the 4 for 3 from World of Books, so it was part of the £5.15 group. So I think £5.15 is really good for these Fence volumes. I have picked up a few of them for good prices, but generally when they first come out they're about £12, something like that. So yeah, £5 is pretty good, and I will look forward to volume 7, because this one ended in a very nice way. I am enjoying it a lot. It's very fun. On to the manga now, and this is Love in the Palm of His Hand, Volume 1 by Rinteku, and this is by Square Enix. I don't know what it is, but it keeps popping open, like the back and the front, like bend out. So I feel like it needs to be put under a stack of very heavy books or something to try and get it to close a bit more, but it does mean I won't feel guilty about it when I start reading it, because this hasn't been read yet and it's already doing that. So yeah, I did pick this up from Amazon for £7.61, which is a pretty good price for this one. I think volume 2's already come out as well, and I think there's more volumes in Japanese. So I'm not in any huge rush to put this off. I feel like if it was just a 2-volume series, I would wait and get volume 2 to read it, but because there's more, I can read it. I just haven't had time. So this month, most of the things I'm showing you I haven't read yet. In fact, I don't think I've read anything other than what I've already read and I've just picked up a copy of. So yeah, pretty poor showing in terms of the read rate for this month so far. But yeah, pretty good new one, and I feel like it's to do with hearing loss. another one that has hearing loss. So a bit like I Hear the Sunspot, I feel like people are going to make the comparison. So I'm interested to see what I think of that, because I do love I Hear the Sunspot. As another one, I do like it when we do get representation of any kind of disabilities in BL manga, because I feel like sometimes it's really well done, and it's just branching out, makes us feel like we've got a bit more options and interest in different stories. So yeah, this is one I'm looking forward to reading. I'll have to read it in September, I think. Now on to one that I got from it is a Kodansha title, but I feel like I should just put this here because I'm not sure if I'm going to end up keeping this long term. I had said I was going to send it back, and I had plenty of time to do that, and then I just never got around to doing it. I had like a week and a half to send it back. I don't know if you can see, but on the front, next to where the H is for Hitorijime, it's quite badly ripped. Unfortunately, it was quite heavily damaged when it arrived. And I did report it, and they were like, yeah, great, we'll send you your money back. I think it was supposed to be £6.66, which is a really good price for volume 15 of a series that I've read very little of. Looks like a wedding's taking place. Spoiler alert. But I have not read very much of it, so I don't really know what's going on. And I was just happy to see that I could get this for a good price, but unfortunately it did arrive damaged, and I just didn't have the oomph or the gumption or the time organization to get it sent back in time. So I'm just going to keep it. It's just this front cover and the next sheet, the next page, that's damaged. So the rest of the manga is fine. So I'm just going to keep it in my collection until I can replace it with a better one. But yeah, so for £6.66, I'm not terribly unhappy, but I'm also a little bit disappointed at the same time. So yeah, it is what it is. But sometimes you do end up keeping things in your collection that's damaged with the thought of one day I will replace you. And I have a couple of things like that in my collection. I'm just wondering, does anyone else do that when you get something and you're like, oh well, I'll keep you until I find a better version. So I have one Kuma title from this month. This is Harada's Happy Crappy Life, Volume 1, which I needed because I have Volume 2 and Volume 3, and I do enjoy Harada. Sometimes her work is very disturbing, and sometimes it's quite emotional, and people go through it. Like her characters, she puts them through it. She really does. But of course this is Kuma, so it's going to be really well made. The paper quality, the ink, everything's going to be really well done, I think. So I'm looking forward to finally reading the first 3 volumes. I don't know if Volume 4's come out for Happy Crappy Life. But yeah, this is one that I'm looking forward to, because Harada has a sense of humor, but it's kind of a dark sense of humor. But yeah, this is one that I'm happy to have because it's Volume 1, and it means I can read other volumes in the series. I've kind of been on the lookout for a good price for it. And I don't know if I've actually got it written down. There we go. £7.87. So, not too bad. I can't even remember where I got it from. Maybe it was from eBay, We Buy Books. Probably We Buy Books. So it was probably new. Because they often sell it. And I mean, I could probably have got this for the same price from Sci-Fi, but then I'd have to do a Sci-Fi order. And I'd end up buying lots of other things, which I ended up buying lots of other things anyway, so I don't think it really matters. But yeah, this is good because it means I can read volumes 1, 2, and 3. Now another one that's just a single volume, this is the old Tokyopop imprint, and this is Kyo Karamao by Tomo Takabayashi? Is that it? Temari Matsumoto. Well, Temari Matsumoto is the one that I actually know because they're BL manga. And this is volume 2, and I needed volume 2. It's not in absolute pristine condition because this is a super old manga. It's like, I don't know, 15, 20 years old, something like that. So yeah, I needed a volume 2. I have volume 1, 3, and 4, I think. I don't know how many volumes of Kyo Karamao were actually made. or released in English by Tokyopop before they went defunct, but I'll have to check that out. But I do now have volume 2. It was going for a huge amount online. I was like, oh, well, I just won't ever buy it. But then it popped up on World of Books for like £6 something. So I was like, yep, I'll get that. That's fine. So it was £6.99. But because it was part of a 4 for 3 order, it's £5.15. So this is a pretty good price for a very old manga. But it also fills a gap. So it means I can read volumes 1, 2, 3, and 4. Which would be fun to do, I think. And rewatch the anime, which is a long time ago and a very long anime, but was super fun at the time. It was super gay, which is why I guess for the BL mangaka Temari Matsumoto was like, yep, we'll take that on board. On to some more Kodansha, but they're not Kodansha comics. With the Kodansha comic sign, they're Kodansha with the little squarey box thing. I don't know what the imprint is. I really need someone to tell me what's the difference between a Kodansha comics and, like, is it a vertical comics one? Or does Kodansha just have other imprints? I need to know. Someone tell me. Anyway, this is another one that fills a gap, which is fantastic. This is Keiyaku, Bound by Law by Yoshie Kaoruhara. And this is volume 3. Because I have volume 1, 2, 4, I think 5 as well. Yes. This means I can read 5 volumes of manga, which is crazy. That I haven't even read the first 2. But this is good. I know some people have enjoyed this series and some people haven't, so it's got mixed reviews. But one that's probably got a bit more plot, I quite enjoy. We'll see. I'm not entirely sure if it's going to be to my taste, but I'm going to have to give it a go at some point. But yeah, for £7.91, it's a little bit pricier than the other ones I got, but I really wanted to get it because it was volume 3 and it would fit into that gap and mean I don't have to wait around. I can read it. I think there's 8, 10 volumes of this, so yeah, quite a lot still to get for the series. And another Kodansha one is My Noisy Roommate, The Roof Over My Head Comes with Monsters and a Hottie by Kaho Ozaki. This is volume 2. I have volume 1. I've read volume 1. And now I have volume 2 as well. This was £7.98. So it's not like a really fantastic discount, because I could probably have waited and got it for like Sci-Fi's discount, you know, when they do things like that. And it does have a lot of glue on it. For some reason there was glue, so I need to give it a good clean with some like coconut oil and stuff like that. But I did enjoy the first one. It's a very yokai one, very much in the same vein as Jeweler Richard, Night Beyond the Tri-Cornered Window, Associate Professor Akira Takatsuki. It's that kind of thing, and I love that. So I'm gonna continue to collect it because I do enjoy Monster of the Week type stories, and this one seems to be that as well. But very much a BL, we are BL kind of thing. So we'll see. The first one, I don't remember there being an awful lot of BL-ness to it. I feel like it wasn't really as BL as I wanted, but maybe that's because it is very much like the other ones, where it's more hinted at, but we'll see. I just don't remember very well because it was a while since I read the first one. So I should probably do a reread. Is it on my list? I think it's on my list of things to reread. But yeah, I do have the physical and the digital of this one. On to some Seven Seas, and I picked up a couple of manga from the Seven Seas. This one's got a little bit of damage on it at the corner. Stay By My Side After the Rain Volume 1 by Shoko Rakuta. I know there's at least 3 volumes out of this. It also came with a huge bit of stickiness on the front, but I managed to just peel it off. I was very gentle and took my time, so I decided not to send it back and just keep it. This one I got for £6.68, which isn't too bad. I think it's generally around the 10 to 13 price. So yeah, for that price, I'm quite happy to just keep it as it is. And it is a volume 1, which means I can start the story. Lots of people have said that this is super cute and lovely, but I don't actually know anything about it. So I'm going to try and see if I can read it in my 1330. It is a volume 1, so it means I can get stuck into it straight away. But yeah, and for that price, it's not too bad. And the sticky thing did come off you know, with a bit of time and a wee bit of effort and quite easily and no damage done. So quite happy about that. Now, one where I haven't taken the sticker off yet, and I probably should, just haven't got around to it yet. This is Training Mr. Sakurada. This is another like 70s Kaya Azuma. It's one that looks like something I probably wouldn't enjoy, which is probably why I haven't like made a huge effort to try and get it. But it did come up on Momox, which is the European seller that I sometimes like to buy from, because they generally have it very good quality secondhand products, and this one is very good. No damage at all. It looks brand new. And I did get it for £7.20, so £7 is pretty good for this one. It's fairly new. I don't know when it came out, last year maybe. So yeah, it's just there's so much coming out now. I feel like I can't keep up with everything, but this is one that when I saw it for a good price, I was like, yes, I'll have that. So this one is also, I think, just a one shot, which means I can read this anytime and I don't need to try and collect anything else from a series. I do enjoy getting one shots every once in a while just for that purpose, to be able to read through something and feel like, great, done, put it away. Now, talking about series that I knew need to keep collecting is My Androgynous Boyfriend by Tamiko. This is volume 2. Now, the reason I am collecting this, because one, I have volume 1 already and I enjoyed it, but Tamiko is a BL mangaka as well as producing work like My Androgynous Boyfriend. A very pretty boy and a girlfriend that loves the pretty boyfriend. And that's about it. I really enjoyed the first volume, and there's only 5. The 5th and final one came out fairly recently, so and I did manage to pick this up for a pretty good price. It was supposed to be, I think, what, £4.80, but it's part of that group that meant that everything was £4.10. So to get this for £4.10 is pretty good, and I'm quite happy to just pick them up as and when I can get them for cheap. So if I see a 3, 4, and 5 for less than £5, which I think I got the first one for less than £5 as well, I think that'd be pretty good. So I'll keep an eye out. I'm not making it a priority in any way. It's not BL, but it is still part of my collection, just because the mangaka is a BL mangaka. So, and her maybe Tamiko's works can sometimes be a bit thought-provoking, so kind of interesting. So yeah, this is another one I'm quite happy to have in my collection and I can read straight away. We're going to move on to some yen price titles, and another one that was in that same group, so was also £4.10 eventually, but was originally £5.30, is Secretly I've Been Suffering About Being Sexless by Togame. It's about someone who marries or gets into a relationship, and their sex drive, their libido is, or the desire for sex is perhaps greater than their partners, and therefore they are suffering some sort of disconnect within their sex lives. And I feel like that's a really interesting topic, and something that I would find interesting to read. And I'm not sure if it's in any way autobiographical, if it's fiction or non-fiction. I don't know, but I just know that that's what it's about. So I kind of wanted to give it a read, and I've been keeping an eye out for cheap copies. I think I was gonna buy one at £6, but then I think £4.10 is a much better price. I'm quite happy to have that because I might enjoy it, I might not, and so it's a little bit of a gamble in that respect. So I'm less willing to pay more for it. But yeah, it's something that I'm interested in, so I thought I would give it a read. If you read this, I'd love to know your thoughts, especially because it's not BL in any way, shape, or form. So it's just something that's part of like sexuality and gender, which is also something that I like reading in manga form. But yeah, one that might be quite interesting. Another yen price that I managed to pick up secondhand for a good price was Kind of a Wolf by Machi Suehiro. And I can't remember if I've read this or not. I read the Fox one, Fox Coloured something. And I read that on Futekia ages ago. But I can't remember if this one came out on Futekia before or after I left. And I don't remember, but because I definitely remember something like this, but I can't remember if I did. Anyway, maybe I did. Maybe this would be a reread. But this is Kind of a Wolf, and it was supposed to be £7 on World of Books, but because I got it in the deal, it's the £5.15 one. So yeah, this is in actually really good condition. I had this in my cart in Amazon for just shy of £8, so I was like, oh, I could get this maybe, and then with the deal, £5.15, and I think it's in pretty good condition considering it is secondhand. So plus, it's a Wolfie story, and you know I love a good animal characteristic. Look at his ear. It's fluffy. He's got two of them. It makes no anatomical sense. But I don't care. So yeah, kind of a wolf I'm looking forward to reading. Now, another yen press that I picked up is Minato's Laundromat. This is volume 5. This is Sawa Kanzume and Yuzu Tsubaki. Yeah, why? The first time I read volume 1 of Minato's Laundromat, I did not care for it. But then I got volume 2 and I was like, I'll do a reread of volume 1 so I can understand volume 2. And I really enjoyed the second time I read it. It felt easier to read. There's definitely an age gap, and I'm not a huge age gap fan, and that's maybe why. Especially if one of them is still in high school. That just makes me feel meh. But I don't know what it was about the second time I read the first volume. I just didn't feel like the ick was quite strongly because I knew that this was what it was about, because I didn't know, like, going into Minato's Laundromat, I didn't know that that's what it was. I think maybe knowing was helpful, and I enjoyed it a lot more. So yeah, this one I picked up for £6.73, but I won't be able to read it, so it's fine. It just goes on the TBR, and I'll wait till I've got volumes 3 and 4 so that I can read that. But yeah, for around £6, I think that's pretty good. Now, another yen press one that I got at the start of the month, which makes it all the worse that I haven't actually got round to reading it yet. It's been a whole month and I haven't read it. This is Nomi and Shiba, and this is by Toru Tagura, and it didn't click that I know this name. And then when I looked at the art inside, because the cover art didn't give it away, but the interior art, I was like, oh, I know this mangaka. They're the Koi Monogatari mangaka. So yeah, I do know this. You generally enjoy their style and their atmosphere quite a lot. Their style is very particular, it's very distinctive, but also the way that they create their characters, it's almost like a bittersweet feeling. I have no idea what this is about, but I'm probably going to enjoy it because I do enjoy um, sitting and thinking about the feelings of the characters. It's very empathetic. I feel like Toru Tagura's work feels very slightly uncomfortable feelings are explored. So yeah, I'm intrigued to find it if this is going to be something like that or a more light-hearted one. I managed to get this one for £7.80 because it is still fairly new. I think volume 2 has come out, but I don't know how many volumes. I don't really know anything about it other than I knew it was a BL. I was going to get it for a good price. So I was like, yep, that'll do. That'll do. Now, this is the final thing I have to show, and that is The Betrayal Knows My Name by Hotaru Odagiri, and this is volume 4. And I picked this up from Amazon for £7.50, which is pretty good actually. If I could get them all for about £7.50, I'd be quite happy, because this is brand new. But it's not brand new because it was still published quite a while ago by Yen Press. I don't know if this is did they do a reprint? I think they must have, because suddenly some of the volumes are easier to get hold of. If I want to spend, £10 or £11, I can do that. But yeah, this was £7.50, so I'm quite happy to pick that up. I do have volumes 1 and 2, but I do want to have the rest of the series. These are omnibus volumes, so they are 2 volumes in one. So pretty good value that way. And I do still rue the day that I could have picked up the full 8-volume series for £50. You always remember the non-buyer's remorse than the buyer's remorse. It's always that way. But yeah, so I'll have to try and get them, and hopefully Yen Press have done a reprint, because some of the volumes were so difficult to find. I just kind of gave up even searching, which is ridiculous, because this is kind of a BL because it is by Hotaru Odagiri. It's very slashable, dark, kind of like Vampire Knight, that kind of thing. But yeah, I do want to pick up the rest of the series at some point. So that is everything that I got for this month. Hopefully it hasn't been too dark because the sun has been coming in and out. Lots of grey clouds today, so I did actually have 30 things here, and I had written them all down. I just had got my numbers on the side wrong. I put 23s down, so it kind of ended up being a bit wrong. But yeah, this is everything I got. So on one side we've got prose, so quite a few prose to add to my list. Things to read, and then some manhwa, webcomics, and manga, and lots of things that add to series or continue series or fill in gaps, which is really good. So I'm quite happy with what I've got. It just means I have to sit down and read them, and I've been really poorly doing that for most of my stuff. I don't know when or if I have already, and I don't think I have already put up my manga TBR video. I think I'm still editing that. So that will have to come and you'll be able to see, and probably halfway through the month I will add in some more because I did bring some from my other collection as well. So yeah, that's something to look forward to. So if you would like to see that video of my physical BL and manga manhwa TBR video, subscribe to the channel if you'd like. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment on any of these titles if you've read them. If you'd like to give me your thoughts, I'd love to hear them. So yeah, thanks for watching to the end of this video. Take care, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!